Today's episode of Dungeon Crawlers Radio is brought to you by Gamers Inn, your one-stop location for all your gaming needs. Located in Lehigh City, Utah, their fun and friendly staff will be more than happy to answer any of your gaming needs. Just remember, Gamers Inn, it's where adventures begin.
It's time to power up.
Autobots, roll out!
Broadcasting live from the DCR studio.
Oh yeah!
The Geek Revolution starts here.
Excellent!
Get ready for the #1 hit geek radio show out there.
Well, it is impressive, isn't it?
Because it's time for Dungeon Crawlers Radio.
Let's get ready to rumble!
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of Dungeon Crawlers where beep, 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 there's something happening. There's something happening in the world.
Geek news!
News time.
It's also where everything's made up and the points don't matter.
We have a new theme song. There it is.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Only for news time.
This
Only
is
for news time.
Coming straight over the wire, straight across Geek News.
Okay,
Yes.
so fresh out of the, well,
Go ahead.
let's start with the little news and then we'll go back to the big one. How does
Okay.
that sound?
Yeah.
Sure.
So, small one, Jeff Goldblum has been announced that he's going to be
Yes.
in Jurassic World 2.
Yes.
Or as some people call it, Jurassic Park 5, right? Is that...
Yeah, I mean, see,
Numbers
this
right.
announcement actually works really well because for the listeners that have been listening, our last episode where we talked about Jeff Goldblum
Exactly.
in Thor.
We promise we're not in love
Look at
with
that.
him.
We
He's
just
awesome.
continued on a conversation.
He is everywhere.
Yeah.
Wait.
No.
Are you saying we're somewhat relevant from
We
show
are.
to show?
Wow.
What?
It's amazing.
Underlying dialogue.
Yeah. I mean, the really cool thing about this is they're continuing on the Jurassic Park storyline. They're bringing in a character that we've already seen from the first and second movie. A character that I really liked, and a lot of people liked.
And if you want to be technical about it, Ian Malcolm was technically kind of in Jurassic World because his
In
book
the
showed
book,
up
yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
So,
And then you had the scientist from the first one,
Wu, yeah.
Wu. We'd never seen him until he showed up. It took me literally the first 5 minutes to go, who the heck is that? And then I went, oh yeah, because it's been 20-something years.
I
and he doesn't look
recognized who he
different.
was, but he was a lot more of a jerk this time around.
Very slimy.
But
and I kind of
maybe
liked
that happens after 20 years of making dinosaurs and being left free reign to do whatever you want.
in all fairness, this is actually more of the Wu that I pictured reading the original Michael Crichton Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's just he's this scientist. He is this mad scientist, and I felt like in the book or in the movie they really toned him down, almost as bad as the lawyer. Like I felt so bad for Gerardo, the lawyer that gets chomped by
The guy
T-Rex.
that is sitting on the toilet.
Sitting on the toilet when he gets eaten.
He's almost he in the book is like more of the main character than Alan Grant. Like because you get to feel his character, you get to feel his fear, you get to really live with him. But then in the movie, chomp. I don't want to live with him anymore.
I could totally see how the scientist went all slimy because look at how he was in the original. It was, okay, let's just get these things made. Let's get these dinosaurs out. Let's not go too crazy.
Well,
and then
and it was brand new.
Yeah, it was brand new, so it was
cutting-edge
new
stuff.
technology, and it was just trying to get from point A to point B, make it work. But then, if you look at the progression and how they started talking about Jurassic World and how they're splicing all this new DNA, it almost sounds like the creators, the guys who owned it, just went, okay, let's have a little fun. We're just going to we're going to pull off the regulation just a little bit. And, it's like a kid in a candy store. At that point, you're like, what can I do?
Yeah.
So I could see how he, in his own mind, was just like, mad scientist-ish, but just trying to further science in general, and it just turned out to be really creepy.
But all that being said, going back to Dr. Ian Malcolm, it'll be good to see him back. I really hope that he has more than just a single throwaway scene.
Oh, yeah,
But I
yeah.
have a feeling it's going to be a lot like Hammond in Jurassic Park 2. It'll be a little like maybe a single interview, like he'll be on set. No, rawr, you don't want to go back there. It's a bad thing. Like maybe even against the entire idea of.
And this is where I want to disagree because I don't think Jeff Goldblum would come back just for a hey, nod and a wink.
Well,
I think
especially
if he's gonna
with this
come
whole
back-
Thor thing.
Yeah,
I mean, his star powers, his Hollywood ticket draw, and his star power now is really on an uptick.
Yeah.
And he's going to be riding the coattails of Thor, and on top of that, so just from a
and not
film
only that, they're going to be
standpoint.
doing more Independence Day.
Yeah.
I mean, that last one, it wasn't the greatest, but it definitely showed that they're going to be continuing to make more
Well,
movies.
it was a continuing storyline that we always
Yeah.
knew was going to happen.
Yeah.
It was a scout ship, and here comes a mothership, and it was that original story that we all liked and loved.
Take the fight to them.
Yeah.
But I hope they do better.
I know.
They do better.
I know.
And you know what I hope is in the second in this Jurassic World movie? If Goldblum's in it, the line has to be in it. Come on, fans, sports fans, you know what I'm talking about.
Must go
Must go
faster.
faster. Must go faster. It's gotta be in there because it's kind of his thing.
And I hope you guys are right. I really do, because I really love I love Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
I love his character acting. I love his character of Ian Malcolm. Like as a kid, like that's one of the characters that you grab onto. I hope he does. I hope he does have a lot more scenes.
I mean, I do. I hope he does. But, ultimately, we don't have a say.
Yeah, they're gonna do what they're gonna do.
They're going to do what they're going to do.
We don't.
But I would really like to see him interact with Chris Pratt's character.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
Oh,
the
dude.
two of those guys? Especially when Chris Pratt jumps out on his bike and there's 4 raptors, and he's like, "What the crap? Are you kidding me? These things just tried to eat me several years ago."
He's just gonna sit there
Can you
with
imagine
like.
he's this guy's on a bike.
And he's got raptors
He's
following
like,
him.
Oh, there's raptors, and
They're
it's
not
a
eating
no.
Well, it's not like
No.
it's not like Chris is going to be able to get onto the new island and train the new raptors to be like his old
You don't know
raptors.
that.
We don't know.
He could have.
What are you saying? Are you saying he's
he
bringing
could have
Blue
halo
along with
jumped?
him? Are
He
you
could have
saying-
halo jumped out of a plane, flew in there, landed, and he's like, "All right."
And is Blue flying with him?
You're now Blue. You're Pinky.
Hey, Blue
and
is still
you,
alive.
And
Blue
you,
is still alive.
You're Red Eye number 5. I don't know.
Well, that was kind of like a Visine and Star Wars reference.
I
just
know.
kind of thrown together there.
Exactly.
But I liked it.
It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
It would be.
I feel like a shredded wheat commercial in this. The geek in me wants to see a huge scene, but the business adult in me knows that the geek in me is just an idiot.
The Geek in me, the Jurassic World. Like that first
Really?
20 minutes of Jurassic World, like when you actually arrived at the park and I pan through, and I will admit I cried when they got back to the original visitor center. I literally had tears.
Oh, when
Two of them
they
streaming down
jump
my face.
start that Jeep, I'm like, that was my geek moment. I'm like,
Yeah.
they did the original, and there they go, and they're like,
See, and I
how
was
did they
super
jump start
excited,
it?
Except Trip, our buddy, was with us.
Oh,
and he has
yeah.
a Jurassic. He has 2 Jurassic Jeeps.
He
actually.
wouldn't- I
And
love
he's
the guy to
sitting there.
death.
He leans over to me and he goes, "There's no way that in that climate that Jeep would still work. It would be a rust. It would be a puddle of rust. But it's still really awesome." And I'm just like, "Trip, shut up and let me enjoy this."
Hey, you and me did stuff like that when we went to the Hollywood premiere of the new
It
Ghostbusters
had
movie.
special
So
coding. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
it was a
We love you,
sealed
Trip.
block there.
Yes.
But no, when you're steeped into geekdom that much, it's kind of hard to really
I know.
separate yourself. So we love him.
Well, he owns
And
2
it-
Jeeps.
yeah.
So, like, he knows exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
They're really
it
cool.
was great seeing all the things the throwbacks. to
Oh
the
yeah.
other ones. The one thing that bugged me about that movie was the fact that Bryce Dallas Howard's character the entire time was wearing high heels. Who in their right mind wears high heels when hunting a dinosaur?
For the record, have you seen the first Jurassic Park? The pile of crap that's in that movie?
Literally
Yeah.
and figuratively.
I wouldn't want to step in that. I would keep whatever is on my feet on. Give me stilts.
I'm
and
sorry,
I would
high
clunk,
heels
clunk,
are
clunk,
not
clunk,
going to
clunk
protect
around.
you from that giant pile of crap.
If anything, it's just like getting you to a more convenient biting height, right? Is that
A little bit, yeah. I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe you can wave the flare a little closer to the T-Rex
I
to get
don't-
him to eat you faster.
That
I
was
don't
the
know.
only thing that's like, really, kick off the freaking high heels and run. But, oh well.
Yeah, she kicks off the heel, takes 2 steps. Ow, a rock!
Yeah. But no.
She did a great job.
Otherwise, no. It was
Yeah,
a
amazing.
great movie. All the movies have been good. 3 still, in my opinion, the weakest.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see where they go.
That's what
from there.
happens when you get a trilogy. The third one's usually the weakest, and then they do a reboot. Look at the Fast and the Furious movies. Tokyo Drift was meh.
I like Tokyo Drift.
It was fun.
A lot better than the second one.
Yeah, it was fun But from a standpoint of the series, it was really that bastard stepchild.
Well, yeah, because they didn't have Paul Walker or Vin Diesel, and then they're like,
until
oh, wait a
they
minute.
referenced it.
Yeah, let's maybe we should bring everyone
So
back.
it's understandable when they do that. And also, which was the third Bond movie? That was
I know the third Tremors movie.
Which third Bond? I mean, are we talking about
the OG Bond? You know,
like, are we talking about Sean Connery Bond? Or are we talking about Roger Moore Bond? I mean, there's just too many Bonds to pick from.
But when you look at that, I mean, usually that.
Or are we talking Daniel Craig?
Yeah, we won't talk about it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I agree.
But understandable that those films are,
Bond.
and usually when you see that stop.
Are you saying Return of the Jedi sucks? That's the third one.
Ooh.
It is traditionally.
Now he's backstepping.
See,
wow. No, I'm not
For me,
backstepping, but
Return
I
of the
love
Jedi
that.
is still my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite because of the conclusion and how they brought it back. Loved it. But traditionally, it is not highly. It's not as seen as high.
It's not.
Empire.
As Empire.
Come on. Little walking teddy bears with sticks and stones destroy the Empire. No.
That's what makes me look forward to the new Battlefront game.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? For all you guys with that trailer?
We didn't review the trailer.
No, we haven't done that yet.
Well, hey, news!
News! Battlefront 2! For anybody who played the original on the PlayStation 2 and everything, they're bringing back a lot of those mechanics. Plus, from the trailer, from what we can see, it looks like
There's
it's
a story
starting.
arc.
There's a huge story arc, and
But
we're
it
following
spans all the eras.
exactly.
No. The story arc only looks like it spans from the fall of the Empire. And then,
Really?
and it's from the Empire
The
side.
story arc does that, but it's still going to be multiplayer capable
the
across.
The multiplayer is going to go across.
You can
the
play
years. So you're gonna be able
young
to play
Anakin
Darth
versus
Maul
and
probably
all that
you're
other
gonna
stuff.
get Grievous and stuff like that.
And there's going to be paid DLC. It's just what they do. But from the storyline, we're following this female character.
She's part of like the Black Ops.
Yeah, the Black
Commandos.
Ops of the Empire, and
She
they're
looks up and sees like the.
they're on Endor
Yeah, they're
when
on
the
Endor and
Death
coming
Star
in and
blows
they're
up.
wiping out the rebels, and then the Death Star explodes.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "What now?"
Now what?
Yeah.
And that's all we got from the
love that
trailer.
story. I love
so
that story.
Well, and then they're like, we have to
meet up and
seek revenge for the Emperor. I can't remember the exact line, but then it moves forward up to the point of Force Awakens, it looks like. And the real cool thing is you see a scene where she's walking up and there's this guy like dressed in red, and there's this like computer screen for a face, and it's the Emperor. So I don't know if any of you have read the Aftermath books, but those robots or androids show up in that series, and they were
Wow.
actually programmed by the Emperor with his memories and protocol like that to act as if it was an extension of him.
Now, how many of those were actually programmed in the books?
I
Because I
think there
know
were
that there
12.
was more than.
Yeah.
There were 12?
Yeah.
Okay, I knew that there were more than 4, but I didn't.
Well, then here comes the next
I think
question.
there were 12. I could be wrong, but this is really interesting because in the expanded universe, we had Palpatine move his consciousness into clones of himself.
Yeah.
It seems like they're not going that route, and this is the route they're going. So we're still kind of getting a Palpatine clone, but not really.
Well, I guess, if you're going to offset, you can bring back Darth Maul, why not bring back Palpatine and bring back, everybody?
He was only cut in half.
But then here comes the next question. Where does the, for lack of a better term, where does the current canon stop? Does Disney have a say in this? Is this all LucasArts? Is this considered a
So
skew?
this game,
Is this going to be...
is going to be part of canon.
So this will be on
everything
canon.
moving forward is part of canon.
Because everything I read, it's not Disney or Active. It's actually all LucasArts in-house. But
Yeah, so
apparently
everything
they would
that
have to...
LucasArts does, it is under the direction of Disney.
Okay.
And so it would have to be considered canon. That's why they wiped out everything before.
Well, they had to because they have to go... well, for first, it was everything's canon until we say it's not. And then when they finally got enough out and said, okay, nothing's canon unless we say it is. So...
I mean, honestly, as much as it sucks, it was a smart move on their behalf.
Well, it
it's
wipes
like
the board.
when J.J. Abrams took over Star Trek.
exactly.
By going into that black hole and resetting everything, he can move forward freely.
It's like being a 12-year-old who's trying to think, hey, someday I'll be able to date. And then when you can finally date, you're like, somewhere my wife might or might not be out there.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel, because we don't know. Dash Rendar, Mara Jade, they could just be floating in this, they're in this
I know.
weird void and abyss, and we don't even know if they're going to exist ever.
Exactly.
The characters are just in limbo, just sitting there like, this is not good. This
It's
is
like
not
that
bad.
feeling that I got
We're waiting to
from
get
Star
called on.
Trek when they didn't
Yeah.
reboot. Well, the
It is a soft
reboot.
boot.
Where they went back in time and where they made a new timeline. I was figuring that does it. Picard, he's never been born. Voyager, never happened. DS9 doesn't exist. My mind was
exactly.
That's why I had to
announced
see it 2 or 3 times.
it is an alternate timeline. But they didn't announce that in the movie. They actually had to announce that afterwards. And until then, I was so mad at that movie. I was determined.
There were a lot of Star
Trek
Trek
it was an
fans.
alternate timeline.
Yeah.
As soon as it was like, hey, it's an alternate timeline. Awesome. I was excited.
I'm excited once I found that out.
I hate the old Star Trek.
Oh!
I do.
Whoa!
I'm not a Trekkie.
Right there.
Are we
My
talking
dad's a Trekkie.
post 89 or pre 89?
All of it.
Really?
I am not a Star Trek fan.
I am not
But
quote unquote a
enjoy-
fanatic.
I do enjoy the new movies because now, okay, I'll put a caveat in there. I did enjoy.
All right, boys. What
Next
about the lightsabers
Generation.
and phasers?
Next
Let's do this
Generation
thing.
is good. I do enjoy Next Generation. Yeah, Patrick Stewart as Picard, awesome. I hate Voyager. I hate Deep Space Nine with a passion.
Wow.
And Enterprise.
I'll give you DS9.
Enterprise
DS9.
was just a giant dung heap of.
How much did you watch of Enterprise?
I couldn't get past the first season.
That's right. You couldn't get past the first season because the
But
first season was
I have
supposed to
gone.
be like
I
that.
have gone back and watched other episodes after the first season, and I'm like, yep, still nothing.
Yeah, for me-
it's much like Agents of Shield.
Yeah.
Oh,
For me,
there's so much hate.
I don't know.
right now.
I'm kind of
So
with
much
I'm
hate.
kind of with Daniel on this one. I was not the
I don't know
biggest
either one
fan.
of you.
I was
okay.
not the biggest fan of Enterprise. Now Scott Bakula, love him to death.
I love Scott Bakula.
You know, Quantum Leap is like
awesome.
the
Major League 3.
Oh jeez.
Again, a third movie that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's hilariously stupid, but oh my god.
But it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I think there's maybe a handful, and I do not use that term loosely, maybe a total of 5 episodes in Enterprise that made me feel even remotely close to some of the mediocre episodes in Next Gen. So like the episode, for instance, the geeks are going to hate me because I don't know the episodes. I like good sci-fi. I'm not a Trekkie. I just like good sci-fi. Like one of my favorite episodes, because I'm an actor and I can see the filmmaking and everything that went into it, the Picard episode where he gets kidnapped by Cardassians. No, not the flute episode. That's amazing. But that was more story arc. Mm-hmm. The character of Picard was really solidified. I think it was pretty early in the series, 3 or 4 seasons in, where he gets kidnapped, and it's the "There Are 4 Lights" episode where he keeps saying, "There's 4 lights," and he's saying, "Say there are 5, and you can eat." And that whole juxtaposition there, nothing in Enterprise got even halfway to as cool as that episode was.
Well, that was a beautifully written episode.
It was amazing, and there were, but that's the thing. You had 2 or 3 of those a season in Next Gen. You go to Enterprise. The only thing that came, in my opinion, close in Enterprise was the series finale. Only because
I hated the series finale
Series
because
finale.
it was a cop out, but I still thought it was kind
at
of
the very
fun.
end where it's Riker standing there and it's like they were sitting in the holodeck. Really?
Yeah, the whole series takes
The
place
whole
in the
series, not
holodeck.
the
holodeck.
whole series, just that last little bit.
Whatever, the whole series
No.
happens in the holodeck.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
no, that's where my brain
It's not
goes.
the whole- that's-
And
well,
don't
that's
even.
nice, but that's wrong.
You're right, but that's as me as a viewer. Like, all right, all this was just on the holodeck.
No,
None of this was real.
The last episode was atrocious. Okay, I'm going to defend the show. So for the second season, when they came in and they actually, the first season was horrible. It was slow. It was like, oh, we're exploring space.
And the
it was
weird
very
times,
realistic.
guys.
It's my turn, buddy. That's my part.
I just got the hand.
That's
Wow.
right. But that second season where the Earth was attacked, where Starfleet was almost wiped out by this unknown force, and they had to actually go into this expanse, I really got a feeling of the original series when they're exploring, when there's something so desperate, and they're in this little tin can of a ship with no shields. Like all they can do is just it really does reach back to the original idea of Star Trek, that exploring space. And I really believe that second season and even into the third, powerful.
Okay, so if you
Awesome.
want to watch a ship, a tin can of a ship with no shields flying through space, go watch Firefly.
Thank you.
Firefly, also awesome.
Now I'll give you that it's a great idea, and it really goes back to the exploration, because once you hit 89 and Next Gen and all that other stuff,
feel like
it's
it
really military.
Yeah.
Well, not to mention
But
the
you
fact
get
that they're
back
in
to that
one of
with
the-
Voyager, but
they're in-
Voyager did it
yes,
way better.
But even then, they're in like these super powerful ships. Voyager, half the ships that it came across were He was way more powerful than a lot of them.
But the other half were more powerful than they were.
Federation.
See, that doesn't make any sense because more often than not, you're watching every episode of Voyager where it's halfway destroyed, and they're like, "Oh, we got to repair this. Oh, we don't have parts. Sorry." And they're hot wiring the thing.
As a side note, I did count once how many shuttles were destroyed throughout the series of Voyager, and there's no way that a ship with a complement of 2 shuttles would ever be able to have that many raw materials to rebuild that many shuttle.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what happened when geeks get bored.
That's a plot hole.
No,
right
it's
there.
a giant plot hole.
I'm going to watch the entire series and just, like,
Star
mark.
Trek itself, it's fun, and yet it still explores the personality and the humanity.
And they didn't even have a Scotty. See, if they would have had a Scotty on there,
Well, Trip
that's-
was
I would've
kind of
been
a Scotty.
fine. No, it's not racist. It's true.
They had Tuvok.
No, he's a
Wait.
Vulcan.
Oh, wait. Are we talking Voyager? I thought we went back to Enterprise.
No, I'm just saying. If you have Scotty on a ship, it doesn't matter where you're at. He'll make something. He's like MacGyver. That's the only.
True. We did have to create a Scotty in B'Elanna Torres, and she was,
Yeah.
one of the
had
bad
Geordi.
guys.
Geordi was
We
a
had-
pretty good Scotty.
Yeah, but that's next gen. That's different.
They're all Star Treks.
And,
It's different.
and he had to wear a hair beret to make up
His
for the
face.
fact that he's a.
He's African American.
Yeah. Well, it's not even African American.
I don't know.
He can match up with Scotty. I can see differently. It's still weird.
Okay, we can tell that Daniel is definitely
anti-Star
I'm not
Trek.
a Star Trek fan.
Don't worry, Star Trekkies. We still love you.
But
There's
even
still
with
love
that
out
said,
there.
it's recently been announced. It looks like there's not going to be a Star Trek 4.
What?
Yeah, the Zachary
Quinto
that plays Spock kind of during an interview mentioned that it's probably not going to happen.
What happened?
Well,
They've made
with
so
Chekhov,
much.
With Chekhov, the
Yeah,
guy,
that's
Anton,
true.
That passed away.
You'd have to recast it 'cause you can't kill the character.
No, I mean it would be
and-
easy to get rid of the character because in the later episodes
More
of
ships,
Star
just-
Trek, Chekhov leaves and he goes to another.
Yeah,
ship.
but as you said, this is an alt timeline where Vulcan's gone. We've already
Right.
changed the crap out
Right.
of all of this.
But
so.
that would be an easy explanation.
But
He
it would
went to go
suck.
serve on another
I mean,
one.
look at what
It
they
would
did
suck.
with Fast and the Furious. Sure, the new one's making a ton of money, but I went and saw it in D-Box, and I couldn't. The whole time, I'm like, oh, where's Paul Walker? Oh, this would be so much more fun with them. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an amazing
He
film.
wasn't in the last one.
Yeah, it was.
Was he in 7?
Yeah. He died in the middle of filming.
Okay, it was in the middle of 7. Okay.
Yeah, those last couple of scenes, they used his brothers as stunt doubles and CG'd
I couldn't
his
remember.
face.
I thought it was 6.
Yeah,
That's fine.
And
But-
there's go see the new Fast and the Furious because there's a scene at the end of the movie that just destroys your heart more than the last one, and big character twists in this one. But all that
At least it'll be
aside,
Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah, so
Yes.
there is one other thing. For those of you that are going to be seeing Guardians of the Galaxy, there are 5 end-of-credit scenes.
post-credit scenes.
I'm
now
sorry,
we're talking
I'm sorry. How many are we talking about?
Five.
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So what the heck are they setting up with 5?
Well,
Oh, by
and
the way,
they say
here's the last stone.
yeah.
in the
that
post-
could be
that would
it.
be-
That would be funny.
And then
You
come
know what
back,
would be
"Wait,
great?"
I'm sorry, did we just get a stone? We did. It required an extra end credit scene. And looking right at the camera.
You watch. We wait for Spider-Man
I have a
for the next stone.
I have a brilliant idea. You see Coulson walk on. He has his robotic hand, pushes a button, and a stone pops.
Oh, don't even.
I'm sorry.
That's
I thought
what
you
ran
didn't
Tahiti.
like-
That's what ran Tahiti.
Yeah,
I thought you didn't like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. there, Daniel.
I
because
don't.
First 2
according-
seasons. Well, first season.
I don't. But I watched. So I went back because Netflix had the last season. I went back to watch it to say, okay, let's see. Nope, still don't like it. But I love Coulson.
Season 1
I
was
like
fun.
Coulson.
I love Coulson.
And he does have a cool a shield,
I still
installed
love.
into his arm.
I still love all of them. Like, yeah, the
Wait, he
writing
has his
isn't the
shield
best.
installed in his
It's more
arm?
like a guilty pleasure.
Well, he chopped his arm off, so...
Dude, I couldn't get past like 4
so
episodes of season
what is
2
it?
just because.
Fitz built him a new robotic arm,
that's
and
cool.
it shoots out an energy shield that looks like Cap's shield.
So it's
pretty
the
cool.
the cap shield from Next Avengers that they
Yeah.
had, the energy
Yeah.
thing, and the yeah.
Yeah.
They have a lot of throwbacks in that show.
Yeah.
And
Even
it
though
is-
that's
it is
technically a
really
throw
fun-
forward.
It's a fun ride.
Yeah.
But I relate it back to like the classic golden age of Batman comics with some of those jokes that are in there
Mm-hmm.
and those really cheesy storylines to today's standards. But it's still fun.
And more importantly, it's still canon. It's under ABC, which is
It's
under
true,
Disney,
it's
so
true.
it's still part of the Marvel
it is.
Cinematic
Joss Whedon
Universe.
wishes that it wasn't. But
Yeah, I
that's a
wrote him.
side point.
He killed a character. This is I
He
think
killed
this
the
is like
character, they brought him back. and
the
he's like,
first
"He should-
time we've
he's dead."
seen Whedon character come back to
Yeah,
life.
it wasn't that...
Yeah, it's the first time. Like Buffy never
who
died
was
and
it?
came
That
back
was,
to life.
Well, no, I mean just without his
What's the
permission.
character's name again?
Who?
Phil Coulson?
No, the guy that died that he killed off that they brought back.
Phil Coulson.
Oh, was it Coulson?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about the one guy, the bad guy that kept showing up. What's his name?
Well, that's another thing
The guy that
too.
turned bad.
That's
showed up
another
in the
thing.
first
Bill Paxton has passed away.
Oh yeah.
So
can't use that
we
guy.
can't use him anymore. There's been a lot of upheaval. So it kind of makes you wonder where everything's going on each front between Star Wars, Marvel, Jurassic Park, Independence Day. I mean, we've got all these storylines that, now Geek is chic, and Hollywood now can make money on it. We're getting these continuing storylines, and I guess the last question to ask, and that's mostly posed to you guys at home, is this supposed to happen? Should we keep these series going? Not just to make money, but, are we doing these characters justice?
Leia's showing up in episode 9.
No.
I thought they announced they did.
8, not 9.
So, her brother said, yeah, she's going to be a 9. And that went everywhere. At Celebration, Kathleen Kennedy said, no. Leia, Carrie Fisher will not be a 9. We are currently rewriting the script.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That makes
So, 8 is her final appearance.
It unfortunately
Which now
has to be.
begs the question, what are they going to do with her? Because she filmed out. They're not. Are they we going to see a ship fly off and boom?
Yeah, they filmed her entirely out. It's not like Paul Walker where she died and still had a handful left.
Yeah,
she was
done.
wrapped.
I mean, that's where she was flying back
either
from.
one,
Was
her character will be killed off in this episode, and it's not going to be a big deal. Or 2, it'll probably be a credits roll, or like a during the opening credits for episode 9, like some tragic thing happens, and it'll mention
That's the only
Princess
thing
Leia.
I can think of because.
Pull like an
they have
episode
to
2
do
on
some
it where,
research.
let's open in there, and then boom, there goes the ship. You're like, whoops.
Yeah.
So, yeah, who knows?
An opening. I'm betting it's in the opening crawl, basically. Princess Leia has passed during a great event, and now everybody's in mourning, and it'll start off with something.
Start at the funeral or something.
Honestly, that would be good.
That would be a good tribute, yeah. Start with like a funeral of some kind.
But,
really,
but we're already seeing a
which
funeral in
builds up.
8. So we're going to see a funeral in 8 and 9. Han's funeral's in this movie.
True.
Well, we never saw Obi-Wan. Wait, we actually see the funeral in this one?
That's what is
That's
rumored.
what
Is they're
is
going
rumored,
back
yeah.
to Corellia, and part of the script they'll be at Corellia, and that's Han's funeral.
Well, look at the bright side. At least Luke will
And
not
they're
die.
gonna-
Luke will not die. Luke will not die. Luke will not die.
Do you hear
Luke
us?
Will not die. Luke will not die. Don't kill Luke. Don't kill
9
Luke. Don't
could
kill
be
Luke.
the
Don't
end
kill Luke.
of Luke.
Well, think about it. This has always been the
It's
story of the
torchbearer
house.
handing it over.
This has always been the story of the House of Skywalker.
What kind of sick marathons are you watching where the torchbearer passes off the torch, they pull out a gun and shoot the last torchbearer? It doesn't happen. He runs off to the side and he's
Really?
like, go, go, go.
Half
Have
the
you
ep-
have you not
cheering.
been watching Walking Dead?
Yeah, right?
That's different. That is different.
That's different
Yeah,
because they're
ooh.
zombies.
Look at Akbar. He survived through Return of the Jedi. It's a trap. I'm a general. I mean,
He didn't survive to 7.
Nope.
He died somewhere.
Yep.
Wait, he wasn't. That wasn't him in Force Awakens.
I don't know. Was
That
it?
was Akbar. What are you trying to?
I thought
pull
it
here?
was.
That was
Honestly.
totally Akbar. Everybody wanted to hear.
Oh
him
wait a
say
minute! It was Akbar. All right, never mind.
Oh, you too.
It's just because he wasn't sitting on a ship going, "It's a trap," so I didn't recognize him.
But anyway, to
Everyone.
wrap it up,
I
we're
know.
excited for the new Jurassic Park setup. We're excited for the new and final, supposed Star Trek, and the different juxtapositions of actors that we've seen before being reintroduced into Geek series on their remakes. So leave your comments and opinions below. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you next time.
We're out of here, and Wes just took over my show.
It's morphin' time.